Hey, this is Jonas, I'm a game developer and I'm here with another episode of Jonas Plays Your Games, meaning I play your games and prototypes and give you my thoughts, my feedback. The amount of games you sent me this time is absolutely ludicrous. I'm gonna show you in a sec. This video is sponsored by me. Will You Snail is a fast-paced action platformer where you have to defeat an AI. If you wanna do me a favor, check out the Steam store page real quick, and if you like what you're seeing, then hit the wishlist button. Thank you very much. Look at my email inbox, like there are 100 new emails, all of them are games. So I'll definitely have a look at every single one of these emails. I'll at very least click on every single one of these emails. That's the least I owe you. The one title that really pops out to me so far is this one here, Ghost Grab 3000. No exclamation marks, no fancy stuff, just the name of the game. So I'm kinda interested in what this is. Humanity's long gone, but our wrecked souls still wander Earth. When you wake, it will be down to you to clean up the mess we made of this planet. I'm sorry, Gigi, we could have done it ourselves. But we were too slow to change our ways, and we ran out of time. Destroy our cursed souls. So it's basically like Wall-E, but for souls. Or I don't know if that will be the case in game as well, but here in the menu, when I click a button, there's a little bit of delay. Makes it feel less snappy than it could feel. The menu looks nice, by the way. Arrows, X, C, Shift, okay. Very smart that you didn't use Y on a German keyboard, for example. The Y is in a different position. If a game requires you to control with Y and X, then on a German keyboard it's always a little awkward because those keys are really far apart. So XC is a good choice. I just played around and forgot to record. Here we go again. So the main mechanic is apparently connecting these enemies with your grappling hook, which is surprisingly fun, and then bang, you can crush them all at once. Feels really satisfying. Very, very simple yet satisfying mechanic. How many can I connect? And the background is like really nice. Kinda 3D, but it totally fits in with the 2D pixel art style. Line connections can also block projectiles. Can they also block the big projectiles? Yeah. Cool. Nice. Wave 3. And you have even more abilities. For example, you can move around like this, which probably prevents you from getting hurt, but it also consumes your energy, so it's a little bit of a trade-off. So I feel like this has probably quite a high skill ceiling. Quite a nice learning curve, I feel like. And then the last ability is this one, which stuns enemies, but unfortunately they will come back. But feels balanced, feels fair, and I still have 3 lives, really? Oh, this has a very nice everything interacts with everything feel to it. Because if you dash through an enemy, it gets stunned as well. Feels like there are a lot of really cool combos. So in terms of game system and balancing, this is great so far. Also in terms of how it looks. I really like what I'm seeing. Oh my god, this combo is insane. Oh no. Okay, now it's slowly but surely starting to get a little bit harder. Oh no. Ah, dang it. Okay, that was a little bit of a difficult spike there. Are there any different levels? Let's see. Reach level 7 in previous level. Okay, fine. Let's see if we can do that. We are very close this time. That in terms of difficulty, this is a little bit annoying now, because now I have to replay a lot of easy stuff that is very boring by now. So perhaps the next level should unlock a little faster, so that I don't have to play stuff that is way below my skill curve, right? You want to keep me in the flow state. This right now is not keeping me in the flow state because it's way too easy. I feel like it's a very great game system. I just don't feel challenged right now. I don't have to utilize everything this game system has to offer. Oh no, that was an oopsie right there. Oh my god, I got a health back. That is very friendly. Here's where it's getting more challenging, more fun. Here's where the dash mechanic starts getting more useful, for example. Wave 6, oh geez, I have to survive for quite a while now. Not enough energy, no. Wave 6 again! And I need to reach wave 7, so now I need to play through all of that boring stuff again. That is a little bit annoying when you have to play through a lot of boring stuff just to get to the difficulty spike that you can't get past. Whereas if you would just unlock the next level a little bit faster, perhaps after wave 5 or 6, then I could play this level, which would probably fit better to my skill level, meaning I wouldn't be as bored for the first half of the game. Let's actually play this with sound for once. So yes, I dig the music, very nice, very nice. Another thing I wanted to say is that in your game, you sometimes get in situations where the amount of enemies gets out of control really quickly, and then you suddenly start losing all of your lives at once. So I think you should probably implement something that helps the player to bounce back a little easier from situations like that, to really give them another chance. You know, if the entire screen is already covered with enemies, then it's pretty obvious that you might not be able to make your way out of this. I feel like there are a couple of things you could do. One thing you could think about that you don't necessarily have to do is just reducing enemy spawn rate when there are already a lot of enemies on the screen. Like each level or each wave could have a maximum amount of enemies, and if that maximum amount of enemies is already reached, then you just don't spawn any new enemies. That just makes sure the difficulty doesn't get too much out of control or doesn't spike too heavily. And the other way around, if there are very few enemies on the screen, perhaps you could spawn them a little more quickly. So just a little bit of a catch-up mechanic there in terms of spawn rate. I think that would probably help the game quite a bit. Another change I think you should definitely do is refilling the energy of the player when you lose a life. So when you hit something, when you lose a life, you should be instantly back to full energy, just to make sure that, okay, at the very least you have a way to escape now, at the very least you have a way to make something happen again. Because I feel like that felt pretty frustrating in the last match where I lost a life and then there still wasn't anything I could do, and then I just basically lost all of my lives in a row because there was so many enemies and there's no way to get out of it for me. Highly recommend it. Refill the player energy when you lose a life. That I think would be awesome. And also another highly optional thing that you don't have to do, but that you can think about. When the player loses a life, perhaps it could spawn a little explosion that destroys all of the enemies that are nearby. In short, I really like this game. I think it's... Oh, there's even a shop? Wait a sec. Oh, that is cool. That's a little bit of additional progression system sprinkled in here. Okay, I can buy different cores here, different batteries, and different beams. Okay, and they apparently all have different properties. I see, this core here is slower but has 4 health, whereas this one is a bit faster but has less health. Okay, I dig that. Those are cool trade-offs. Chain ghosts together and pop them for points. Survive an arcade apocalypse with the unique power of the grapple beam. That for me, for some reason, almost undersells the mechanic. That for me sounds almost like a game where you can pull yourself towards enemies or pull enemies towards you. And what you have in the game is actually even a bit more interesting. What you have in the game is chaining enemies together like in Candy Crush and then just popping them all at once, which feels really satisfying. I wonder if you actually can make that moment of popping enemies even more satisfying, because your game relies pretty heavily on this moment where you just all of these enemies blow up. I'd definitely keep experimenting with that a little bit. Could definitely be worth it. For example, what if all of the enemies explode with a little bit of delay, so we have a longer reward animation? I would try that out. Could be cool. Oh, and this will actually come out soon. This will come out summer 2019, which makes sense because the game already looks pretty finished. Oh, does destroying projectiles refill your energy? Actually, that would be a cool mechanic as well, but if that is the case, I didn't notice that in game. Even some cool animated GIFs in here in the text. Not bad. Okay, let me add that to my wishlist. And while we're at it, don't forget to wishlist Will You Snail. Have you wishlisted Will You Snail already?
You don't want to play this game. Trust me.
Then what are you waiting for? Okay, let's try the next game. Putting the title of the game in the title of the email is definitely a good idea, I feel like. You have a lot of submissions that are just indie game submission, playing indie games, try my indie game. And if I read a title, that is a lot more intriguing. That makes me curious what the game's actually about. They'll Find You. I clicked it because I was curious about the title. Don't worry, I'll click all of these emails eventually. I'll have a look at all of them. No worries. Well, the way the camera moves is definitely already a little bit unsettling. Like more than top-down perspective, which is definitely a bit creepy. And then also the shading and the textures on these cars look a little uncrisp, not very sharp. But perhaps that adds to the creepy feel. Pedal or something. Perhaps the game could be a little bit brighter, because it's really hard for me to actually see anything. But at least on this monitor, on my second monitor, I can see a lot better what's going on. And one thing I also want to say is that for a horror game, usually sound is the most powerful way to build tension. And so far, the sound is not doing a lot, not very exciting. It hasn't changed since I've started the game. Okay, I'm in the water now. Am I dead? Like, I think I'm not supposed to go here. Uh-oh. Yeah, dang. I think we'll have to start a new game and not fall into the water this time. And now let's head into the forest and not fall into the water. Okay, now the sound and the music has stopped entirely. I thought that was for dramatic effect. Okay, but now... Starting again? I'm not sure. Can't hear anything. Dang it. I'm so aimless. What do I need to do? Where do I need to go? Another thingy. Like we already have 3 thingies. 1000. What does that mean? When I click on that, I see 1000. But I can't do anything with these objects. Honestly, this is probably where I would stop playing the game. Simply because I don't know what to do. Okay. This is interesting. I found a bridge. Seems like this brings me to another area, which is luckily a bit brighter. Oh, I can hide in that. I see. Okay, I'm lucky and I found this here. This top-down view is definitely a bit creepy. Okay, this door doesn't open. Oh jeez! Oh jeez! Oh, that was a jump scare. So the heartbeat probably lets me know if monsters are nearby, right? Okay, and here also in terms of sound, more interesting things are happening. I definitely liked that environmental storytelling at the entrance, that smashed door. I want to see more of that, more environmental storytelling. Let's see if we can find more environmental storytelling here. Okay, like there's a giant storage facility here with a bunch of bags. I wonder what's inside these bags. Why is there a giant storage facility here? Like, all of these bags are not named. Like, I don't know what's inside these bags, which in my opinion is a missed opportunity to perhaps tell me something about this place. A hammer. Okay, now I have a hammer. Okay. I guess that will come in handy. Let's see what's on the other side. Here at the bottom you can see that the shadow distance is not far enough to cover the ground with shadows fully. Might want to increase the shadow distance a little bit. And then I can also not really see what's on this image here. Might be an Easter egg, but would also be a great opportunity once again for a little bit of environmental storytelling, telling me a little something about this house, who it belongs to. I mean, maybe that's the family this house belongs to. Might very well be the case. I don't like that sound. See, those sounds are really unsettling. I feel like this is the only way I can go, right? Oh no, my heartbeat is getting faster again. Let's get out of here. Oh no, 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 please no. Oh, damn it. Unfortunately, I'm not a big horror game player, so it's a little bit hard for me to give good feedback on this. Perhaps just putting a couple more objects on the screen, a little more clutter. Like, this looks very empty, which has... it's kind of interesting and creepy in its own way. Usually the more stuff there's around and the more things there are that cast creepy shadows and the more things there are that you don't really know what they are, the creepier I guess it is. Because there could be hiding something around every corner. Here I can't, like, there's no way anything could hide near me. Jeez. Okay, jeez. No. Is there any way I can escape this creature? Did I escape the creature? Seems like it. This is a creepy room. Oh, this is locked. Okay, at least I can go in here. No! Damn it. Oh, that's a different creature. Oh, there are different creatures. Oh my god. I'm not sure if we'll find all of the creatures, but that is cool. I like... Oh no, it's still around. Oh no. Let's hide. Oh. Oh my god. It won't find me. It's looking around. Oh, where is it? Yeah, okay. That is actually, I think that is a bug that should probably be fixed. Oh, you can look around while you're in here. That's nice. But probably doesn't reflect 100% how you feel like when you're inside a box. Usually when you're in a box, you can see very little. So perhaps you should even zoom in or lower the field of view somehow when you're in a box. I feel like that would represent the feeling of being in a box a bit more. This really doesn't feel like being in a box. This feels like being in a watchtower. And of course, in horror games, it's probably quite important how things feel, right? Okay. I did fall out of the map. Continue game. Ah yeah, okay, that resets me. I already more or less know where I have to go. Let's see if I can make it this time. Oh geez, they're still standing in front of the door. I think luckily they are too dumb to go through the door. Let's just wait a little bit. Oh no, I need to make it through the door. No! Will they always be in this room now? Also, I feel like if you see these monsters this often, they stop being scary. Come on, just let me get to the door. Thank you. Very kind of you. The fact that they can't go through doors makes them a lot less scary. Oh no, there's another one of these. How many of them are there? Oh no. Like this font over here is quite nice. Yeah, that works for me. And then in terms of font, you might just want to select a font that fits your game a bit better. I mean, this font is okay. I feel like this side is okay. This looks like a crash screen over here. This is meant to be like a little notebook or something. And then apparently there are 5 different monsters. The ones we saw, I assume, we definitely saw the stick creature and them, perhaps. And then there are a couple of other creatures and enemy types, apparently. Unfortunately, we didn't see them, but I think this is a very cool concept, having multiple kinds of enemies that, in the best case scenario, should be very different from one another. I mean, the 2 enemies we saw so far, unfortunately, were very, very similar. They both just chased us down and were not able to go through doors. So what I think would be interesting if some of these enemies could perhaps go through doors, perhaps some can't. Some of them maybe can even go through walls. Perhaps some of them hide in corners or in dark spaces, so you have to be a little more wary where you go. I would really use these enemy designs to your advantage. Make them as different as possible. Because after a while you get used to these enemy types, right? They start getting less and less scary the more you see them. And if there are still other enemy types around that you don't know yet, or that you don't know as well yet, then it can still remain a bit more creepy. The ones who swarm, tiny monsters that attack in groups to overwhelm their prey. Stuff like that is cool. Well, usually in the top-down view, you'd expect it to be very hard to make a horror game, because usually in a top-down view, you know, you can see everything. Everything's very visible for you. You have a good overview. But the way the camera moves, like in this very little strange way, makes it somewhat creepy. And then the camera is also not that far zoomed out, which means you can't even see that far. You can't see what's on the other side of doors and stuff like that. Those are, I think, pretty cool design decisions that make this game a lot creepier. The heartbeat, of course, the fact that you have a heartbeat, I really like that. Then once again, perhaps you could use the heartbeat to make these enemies a bit more unique, right? Perhaps some of the enemies increase your heartbeat when they're nearby, so you get a warning. And then perhaps other enemies don't increase your heartbeat when they're nearby, so you don't get a warning. And I guess here we can read a little bit of backstory. That would be really cool if we could feel a bit of that backstory in the game as well with environmental storytelling. Hope this feedback helped you out a bit, and hope you had fun watching me play your game. Okay, the next game we're gonna play is called Phos, which, by the way, looks absolutely beautiful. Oopsie doopsie, just wanted to give you a little heads up that the little leg spikes you're seeing here in this game and in the next one are entirely my fault. They were not in the game, and yeah, my recording software just screwed up. No worries, it's still pretty watchable. I just wanted to give you a little heads up. Place HQ building. Red communicates to me that I can't place it there. Here are a couple of resources. Let's place it near the resources. Jonas. Fish. Oof! That feels like getting slapped into the face by complexity. Okay, I can see my resources up here. Electricity, and that is probably iron or something like that. It's a little hard to read the text. Perhaps this overlay needs to be a little darker so you can read the tooltips. And of course this is still an early development build. The creator of this game also said that this game is not really balanced yet. Perhaps I can give a little bit of balancing inspiration as well. I'll just have to find my way into this. Okay, so those are my research buildings. I think a part of the UI is hidden behind the buttons here. Here we go. Are we getting coal now? Or do we need to connect them first? Why can I not build a power station? Costs 2 iron and it costs coal over time. Oh yeah, that actually makes my power go up. Okay, meaning we can branch out a little bit here and start mining those resources as well. Start mining this and this. Tooltips would be great when hovering over these resources maybe. Let's try to get some water as well. I like the fact that I'm only seeing the resources up here that I have already. When I didn't have coal, there was just no coal displayed up there. Cannot place building here. Why not? Okay, it needs to be very close to the ocean. Do these water pumps not need electricity? Oh my god, why am I so much in the minus for electricity all of a sudden? No, delete this building. Destroy. Oh my god, they eat so much electricity. Oof. Okay, let's get one water pump. Here seems to be a good spot for mining coal. I would really like to know what these resources are, because I have absolutely no idea. Now I have a lot of additional coal, meaning I can build a lot more power stations. Okay, very nice. Now let's build some research. Do they consume energy or something? They don't have a cost. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, let's just see what we can research here. Advanced mine sounds good. I'm not quite sure what these bars here mean. Power +4, iron +4. I mean -2? You mean I need resources to research that, right? And also I'm wondering why these buildings here are free. Let's just build a couple more of them. I mean, if they're free. They all look the same, which is also a little bit confusing, but probably just due to the fact that this is an early version of this game. I'm not giving that much feedback yet. First of all, I feel like I have to figure out what's actually going on here. That should be enough. Okay, now the research went a lot faster, probably because I have more buildings, which of course I have because they're free. Unlock the production of steel. Those icons look very similar. I can see that getting a bit confusing. I'm wondering a little bit, where will all of these resources fit? I feel like at some point they will stop fitting in at the top here. I have to say this looks somewhat pleasing. One problem I can see here is one very similar to the one we had in Islanders, where everything just looks very static. Like if your game is entirely based on buildings and has like no little vehicles or humans walking around, then everything starts looking very, very static very, very soon. And I mean, one thing you already did to counteract that is implementing these clouds here. They definitely add a little bit of motion. That is definitely nice. However, this is definitely something you need to keep in mind, that you need to find ways to fill this with motion as much as you can. Perhaps you can have little packages, energy packages traveling along those lines, and then all of these little energy thingies can start rotating or something like that. One thing that I think might be improved, and where I think now is still a good time to improve that, is that the placement position of a lot of these buildings doesn't really matter, which I think is a lost opportunity in an RTS game. Like, for example, these research buildings and these energy buildings, it really doesn't matter where I place them, or it seems like it absolutely doesn't matter where I place them, which I feel is absolutely a lost opportunity. You could think about giving them certain effects on buildings nearby, or just something that allows optimizers and strategists to figure out the best way of placing these. Of course, for some buildings it does matter where you place them. The mines, and here these water collectors, but like for every other building it absolutely doesn't seem to matter where you place them. Same for those power lines. They seem to be very, very cheap, and you can just connect everything anyway. Perhaps being next to a power line could give buildings a debuff or something. Just I would try implementing a couple of rules that make choosing the correct placement of each building a bit more interesting. I mean, a lot of players dig this. It feels like working my way through a tech tree. Metal Forge here. I feel like I can place this wherever I want again, right? It does absolutely not matter where I place this. Let's put the Metal Forge here, because why not? It's a bit strange that I can access these resources already. I thought I'd be able to access them in the late game. Okay, and now let's just build some oops advanced mining here, and then you can also, with the power lines, you can also do stuff like this, and I feel like there's absolutely no disadvantage to that, where there absolutely should be a disadvantage to doing something like this. I'm losing a lot of energy now, but we can hopefully fix that by building some energy buildings. Advanced power. Oh, that requires fuel though. I don't have any fuel. So we'll have to try to solve our problem with these normal power stations. Ooh, I wonder if we can do that even. Otherwise we're in trouble. Uh-oh, okay, it doesn't work like this. Damn. Okay, advanced power. Here we go. How do we get fuel? Let's build a couple of these things. Oh, they look exactly the same. That is a bit confusing. But I get it. I do that all the time as well when making games. Perhaps just at least give them a different color. Same for these. If you want to save time for prototyping stuff, then yeah, sure, use the same meshes, but I feel like changing their color is worth it. Why do I get so little deuterium? What do they need? How did my economy get out of balance that quickly? Thing is, I'm not really sure what I need to do to fix this now. Like, how do I get into the plus with this energy again? I'd like to see a little bit of what is costing me this much energy. Why am I losing this much energy? Like how much energy does this advanced mining cost? Only -8. Where's all of this energy going? Why is my energy literally minus 2,400. That needs to be a bug, right? That can't be right, because my energy isn't even going down all that much. Ah, this produces fuel. Ah, okay. But can I finally get fuel now, please? Fill it up. Okay, this is a bug right here. See, I'm at 1,000 energy, so I'm clearly getting energy somehow, but this is way in the minuses. And now I'll have to build a lot of fuel plants, I guess, just in order to get some fuel, because I built so many advanced power stations. That is a big problem with balancing economies like that. Like they can get out of balance so quickly, and I can really only recommend balancing this, trying to balance this as soon as possible. Like, don't save the balancing for the end, because if you're unlucky, it will turn out that this system cannot be balanced and that you need to make some systemic changes in order to get it balanced. So definitely start balancing soon. That is a big recommendation I have for you. Otherwise, stuff like this will happen. This just doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. And I'm still... Ah, here's my fuel. Okay. But it's still in the minus. And here my energy is so much in the minus as well, but somehow it still stays at 1,000. What I appreciate about the balancing so far, though, is at the very least I don't have to wait for resources to come in. In a lot of strategy games, you oftentimes end up sitting there waiting for resources. Okay, let's mine some more resources, shall we? And then after that we can still see if there are resources anywhere that we want to mine. Okay, now the game slowly starts lagging out a little bit. I wonder why that is. Here, advanced mining, let's go. Goodbye, performance. Bye-bye. By the way, I've already said that this game looks really nice. This game looks really nice. Like, there is absolutely no encouragement for me to build these effectively. Do not save balancing for later. It's dangerous. It's truly dangerous. I wanna see if the balancing works now. Let's build an alloy forge, because it doesn't really matter where I build them anyway. Let's place them all over the place. Couple more metal forges. My bar on the top is full. No more resources fit in there. Let's check out our base for research. Okay, there's my research here, research that. I see, and we've already worked our way pretty much through the entire tech tree. I can't scroll through this menu. That is a problem. I can see it. I can scroll there, but it always snaps back. Okay. Oh, I can select stuff like this. I wonder if that means I'll get some units to move around later on. I'm very curious to see where this goes. Overall, very good game, actually. I'm pretty impressed, especially with the fact that everything is pretty self-explanatory. I feel like you get into it quite easily. Don't save the balancing for later. That is extremely dangerous. You want to see if your core underlying game systems work once they're balanced, because might very well be the case that it's not possible to balance them as they are right now. And you should better try that out now before you have to make some huge systemic changes later on. Very awesome. Next up, we'll play Neural Bots. Game is much better with headphones, okay. Alright, we'll sign up. Let's see what the game's about, and then we can check out the level editor. I already saw that this has a level editor. There's no sound, just letting you know. This UI is overlapping a little bit. This is not very nice. Perhaps a next level button would be nice here. Ah, and then I just see my best score here. Okay, but I don't know how good that is. So I'd really either like to see a high score or a medal system added to this where I get some instant feedback for how well I did on this level. At the moment it's not really possible to build a lot of momentum with this thing. Like flying upwards feels really... I feel like this could feel a lot more fun if it were possible to build more momentum. This feels very skill and precision based, which, by the way, is completely fine. However, this control scheme would also have a lot of potential for, I feel like, for a lot of fast-paced levels. And of course, if your game has a level editor, then you want to allow players to build a lot of different kinds of levels, right? I feel like the easiest solution would be to drastically reduce the gravity of this guy. Now you're still in a spot where perhaps it's not too late to fix that. I mean, if you don't want to, then I understand. The main character is cute, by the way. I like it. Looks very cute. I like the colors. Very, very nice color palette. Ah, so close, so close. For a second level, this almost feels a little hard. Too much gravity. Like, it's so hard to stay airborne. You put your thruster at 45 degrees, you're already falling. Which feels counterintuitive. See, if I'm boosting 45-degree angles, I'm still falling down. I feel too heavy. Can we get up? I can barely make it. Okay. I managed to beat the level. And I once again have to click here. Okay. That was level 1. Let's check out level 3. Camera should be moving a little more in the direction I'm moving in. So if I'm moving to the right, the camera should place the player further left in the screen so I can see where I'm moving, which is especially important if I want to fly very fast. I just wanna see a little better in the direction I'm going. I feel like the camera could be a little smarter like that. The player doesn't need to be exactly in the center of the screen all of the time. My main feedback for now would be, for a game like this, I would really like to see the controls and the camera movement fine-tuned a bit more. And I think it's especially important to do that now, because when you've already made like 200, 300 levels, then believe me, you won't feel like reworking the controls anymore, because then all of the levels you've made basically stop working. This game is an open beta, by the way. If you want to test it, link to that is in the description. Death animation could be even a little bit shorter. Or skippable, perhaps. Perhaps it should just stop when you click. That could help to keep the flow going. For a game where I feel like the fun comes from going fast and from the speed, this game forces me to a lot of precision and slow movements. By the way, do these rotating thingies here reset when the level resets? Because they definitely should, to make sure that every run is consistent and these things are always at the same position. Okay, this path here is easier. Appreciate the fact that there are multiple paths you can take. Like, staying in the air is too difficult. This forces me to just always make my thruster face downwards. It'd be way more interesting if I had a little more movement flexibility for this, allowing me to face it in other directions, maybe even to the side or downwards at times. Uh-oh. No. 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 Oh, suddenly there's sound. Ah, the sound is nice actually. Like, I want to make a map about going fast. Definitely feels like this is a game very heavily built around the map editor, so let's check it out. I can't delete this anymore. I guess there are just a couple of little bugs here and there. And the sound doesn't go away from the lasers. It stays there. Oh, in fact, it doesn't even disappear when I go into the menu. Other than that, so far, from what I can see, the controls here feel quite intuitive. I'd like to drag the camera with the mouse button. That would be really nice. I'm not quite sure why I need to select things by holding my mouse button. Why is a single click not enough? And then when I hit escape, I feel like this overlay here should disappear when it's still selected, and if I have nothing selected, then we can bring up this menu, and then we'll just put a couple of gear wheels here and there, which are probably quite nice as reference points when moving quickly. I would recommend giving these gear wheels a random rotation when dragging them into the level. The fact that these spikes have just one color is pretty smart. That allows you to shape them basically in pretty much any way you want. That is a fun way to build a spike out of spikes. Perhaps this UI could be slightly transparent so I can see what's behind it. Sometimes this just blocks my view. Oh no, now I'm screwed. I can't even select the correct gear wheel anymore. Yeah, this map editor for the most part, I feel like this is going in a good direction. This is pretty nice. Of course, it just needs a lot more objects you can place in the levels. A lot more objects to do level design with. Particles, dust. Ooh. Okay, let's go. Let's save. Okay, there are a couple of hotkeys as well. Okay, that's good to know. Save and test. Here we go. Okay, seems like I made my level a little too big actually. No, okay, I wish I could scale the entire level down a little bit. I think what would be really useful is to, instead of this start text here, to just have the player character here. Because then you instantly have a comparison to how big the player character is, and it's much easier to estimate how big the rest of the level needs to be. I completely underestimated the size. Speeding through these levels is pretty much the fun part. What the level editor is definitely lacking is some sort of spikes that are a little more suitable to put them in the air. I would say what you have so far looks very promising. I would definitely have a second look at the controls. Make the player character feel a little bit lighter. One very clever solution that you could try, I'm not sure if it will end up working out, but for example, just making the player lighter while you're boosting. Perhaps that could be a good compromise as well. So if you stop boosting, you still fall down just as fast, but while you're boosting upwards, I feel like that should definitely be possible a little easier. You feel so heavy at the moment. Perhaps experiment with designing a couple of levels that rely more on speed and a little less on precision, because I feel like that's where the fun is that's where the fun is coming from. Yeah, and then of course the level editor of your game. I would never dare to make a game with a level editor simply because it comes with a lot of very tough challenges. Like how you need to make sure that players can edit levels easily, that they can create a huge variety of different and interesting levels. Like Super Mario Maker did a very good job of that. Geometry Dash did a very good job with that. And those are basically games you're competing with a little bit, right? The competition is strong for level editor based games. I wish you the best of luck for sure. The next game, AI Buster. Okay. Quite easy so far. Do I see a map up here? Is this a roguelike? Oh, different biome. That's nice. I don't really need to destroy these enemies. Oh no, this is a dead end. Now I need to backtrack all the way. Let's try going to the right here. Oh, ice biome. Very nice. Just a little bit of a shame that all of these biomes are filled with the exact same stuff. I feel like what this game is missing is just enemy variety. Feels like a solid start, just lacking a bit of variety. Perhaps the enemies should move a little bit as well, and maybe you shouldn't be able to leave a room before you haven't destroyed all of the enemies. Okay, finished room. Okay, do I just need to finish all of the rooms, or what's the goal? Is there a goal? Who knows? Now this room turned green. Okay, so I need to go into every single room and kill every single enemy, which sounds a little bit tedious, because there's nothing. They're all the same, right? Actually, the game plays quite well. Like I enjoy fighting these tanks here somehow. Feels kinda rewarding. Feels to me like this game is just not finished. Feels to me like this is still in development. Just one thing I would definitely do is making sure that all of the biomes are actually different from one another. So every biome has different enemy types and a little bit of different terrain, different conditions. Perhaps in the snow biome, perhaps the tanks move a little slower or something like that. And then just add more enemies, that's what I'd say. Cool, very, very cool. Yeah, I'm in a real dilemma. I'm in a real dilemma because there are so many cool looking games. Like there are about 100 very cool looking games in my inbox. I don't know what to play. Oh, this really reminds me of Blackthorn Prods shooters. I'm just keeping my my promise real quick to open up every email and see what's inside. Why are there so many awesome looking games this time? I'm used to seeing a lot more cheap looking stuff. Oh my god, another really high quality, good looking game. This looks very interesting and adorable. I think we need to check this out. Oh my gosh, is this a game about making music? Ah, okay, here I can see how many instruments are still remaining. Where's the last one? Where's the last instrument? Oh, yes! That is awesome. That is really, really awesome. This is really cute. Why is this so cute? Such a nice and chill way of making music. I feel like there's nothing negative I can say about this game, it's just adorable. Where's the last instrument, though? Where is it? Ah, here. Awesome, like what a lovely game. I'm really glad I played this gem. I'm feeling completely overwhelmed by the amount of absolutely awesome looking games you've sent my way. This is insane, like what the hell. Another Steam game, Area 86, looks interesting. It's a physics-based escape room puzzle in space. Oh, let's watch the trailer. Oh, cute, you control a little robot thingy. That looks actually pretty fun. What I would say about the visuals is that, for me personally, this looks like a bit too much gray, perhaps. Let me see if I can make something happen here. That is always some fun. See, I think this is pretty clear that this just looks a bit nicer if everything had a bit more colors. This looks a little bit like a gray box prototype, and then with a little bit more blue and orange mixed in here and there, it just looks more finished. Pretty sure you can pull that off in Unity with lighting and a couple of smart textures here and there. Maybe you don't even need to go that all in on the colors. Maybe just a little more color would help as well. The gray box, and then this suddenly looks more finished. Gray box, a little more finished. Think about it. Should we play this game? Let's look through the through the entire stack of emails first. Racefall. Here we go. I saw this the other day on my Discord group, which I guess gives this game a little bit of an unfair advantage. But it looks interesting. Let's try it out. Okay, so apparently I can use the mouse to look around a little bit. It seems like I need to look at all of this. Okay. And very interesting way of teaching the game, actually. Maybe it is not really necessary to show the cursor on top of all of this. Okay. Looks like I've freed myself. Okay, this is looking quite pretty. And apparently in this game... Oh. Apparently in this game you fly by using the left and the right mouse button. So right mouse button controls the right wing, left mouse button controls the left wing. I have to say this does not control very nicely yet. Like, at the very least with mouse and keyboard. I have no idea with controller. I can't plug my controller in because all of my USB ports are taken when I'm recording. I don't understand where I'm going. I mean, the character looks beautiful, by the way. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Am I doing backflips or this part of the game? Do I need to learn how to fly? I'm flying. Oh, when I click just one mouse button, I turn, okay. Not gonna lie, the controls feel a little bit strange. What irritates me the most, I think, is that I have to control both with the mouse as well as with ASDW, right? If I just do this, then I inevitably will land on the ground, so I need to click S at the same time, and then the camera does just some weird stuff that I can't really tell what exactly is causing this. Okay, so clicking a mouse button opens the wing, right? In terms of the animations, I feel like that could happen even a little more immediately here. Lifting the wing feels like there's a bit of a delay. See, there's like 300, 400 milliseconds where nothing's happening even though I've clicked the button already. That should be a bit snappier. Oh, okay, and I can quick start like this. I think what ends up biting you in the back a little bit here is the fact that the character can basically tilt in all directions while controlling it mid-air. Like if it gets a little bit tilted just, then it already becomes very hard to control. After trying this for a little while, I would definitely say try to make the controls purely about those two buttons. Like leave ASDW out of it. Sure, we can use ASDW for controlling the camera and stuff like that. That is fine. However, I feel like the main appeal from your game should come from the simplicity, right? From the fact that you have two buttons. One button opens the left wing and one button opens the right wing. I feel like it should be able to control all of the flying maneuvers with just those two buttons and leave ASDW out of it. At the moment it is... I can really control where the character is going with W and S. That should not be the case. This could be such a simple and elegant way of controlling a character with those two buttons, and I feel like you can make it work. I feel like you can make it work with just two buttons. That should be possible. Like even a lot of that vertical flying and so on, perhaps just with the rhythm you beat your wings in. And I would also try making the wing movement a little more consistent. Like I feel like here on land, pressing the buttons does something entirely different than in the air. Keeping one button pressed suddenly does something entirely different where the other wing doesn't really close. It feels a bit inconsistent. You never know entirely for certain what the wings are going to do. I would simplify these controls a lot further. I would try to make them react more quickly, make them more snappy. I don't think you'll have to get rid of this, but if you have to, if it just doesn't work with just 2 buttons, that you get all that sort of vertical and horizontal tilt in that character, then just get rid of it. I don't think it's too important. Of course, being able to pull those maneuvers off is nice. Like at the moment you can't really do that either. And then you also just need to fix the camera. I don't know, you're probably using something like Cinemachine. For me at the moment the camera feels like something that works fine when walking around on land here. That seems to be what this camera has been made for. But for the air controls, the camera does not feel ideal. Oftentimes the camera's moving and spinning too quickly, which is not ideal in air. I feel like the camera should be a lot more steady, and even if you turn around mid-air, the camera should not just suddenly spin to the other side. It should just either do that slowly, or it should stay in place and sort of see where you go from there. Imagine it like a camera being pulled on a string, right? When you move in the other direction, the camera shouldn't spin around. It should just stay in place and wait for you to go in the other direction or whatever. That's the sort of camera I would go for here. Yeah, look, it looks nice. Before you do anything with this, you should definitely make sure that the controls feel very nice. I'm saying it very, very honestly, and I mean well. I feel like this has a lot of potential if you get the controls right. At the moment, yeah, let's be honest, it feels horrible. I'm sorry, but I can see the potential. I can see the potential. Yeah, I hope you get this right. I'm looking forward to playing this again, actually. I hope you figure out a control scheme and a camera movement that works for this game. Yeah, let me know if you need any help. I feel like this is a very, very interesting project. I'll help where I can. Next game. I'm just wondering if I'll be able to edit this if we put music in there. Let's start with music. Because having music playing in the background always makes editing a little harder, because then there are weird cuts in the music. But okay, let's try. Get to the other side. Okay, this looks nice. I'm literally just a rolling cube. Nice. Oh, this is a very chill, skill-based game. A little bit of a shame that the world ends here. And I mean, world ending here by itself wouldn't be that big of a deal, but world ending here in combination with the fact that this seems to be the easiest route is a little bit of a bad combination. Oh no, I need to go backwards. Alright, level complete. I really dig the music and the colors of this game. This looks very nice. It's a very simple concept. Once again, another proof that you don't need crazy complicated ideas in order to make cool games. That's definitely very, very cool and chill. I like how different all of the levels look. Seems like this one's a little bigger because performance is already starting to slightly lag out there. How about we enjoy this game in full screen for a bit? I can see good thumbnail material here. Oh, this level looks nice as well. The colors are very, very nice. I'm honestly super surprised by how rewarding this feels. I would totally buy this game on Steam. Like, if this is a demo and there would be like 50, 80 levels of this, I would buy that. It's just so chill to explore this world and have this somewhat simplistic gameplay at the same time. Arguably, this is not the most interesting gameplay ever, but due to the fact that you see so many cool new things, so many cool new terrain features all of the time, it just keeps it interesting. Like, exploring these worlds never get boring, and then the little bit of gameplay that's there is just enough to make it like a really compelling experience. There definitely needs to be a rewarding sound effect whenever you finish a level. Yeah, and then here, these places where the level ends, I feel like you should perhaps try to find a little bit of a nicer solution for that. Maybe the terrain could just dip down and there could be a very deep cliff or something like that. That would already be better than having nothing here. Apparently with shift you can also boost. That is cool. And at the moment there's also no advantage to going fast, right? I'm also not sure if there should be, because the way it is right now it's kinda chill. It really makes a difference how well designed the levels are. I feel like the well designed levels are quite a bit more fun. Oh, here it slowly goes into a snowy landscape. That is very cool. But then once again this level feels very confined. Like, you can see these edges in the corners here, and there's nothing in the background, no big mountains. I feel like the levels where the world feels a bit more complete, where the world feels a little bigger and not just confined to this little level here, those levels feel a lot more immersive to me. Like, this level does not feel very immersive because it looks like a level. Oh yeah, speeding through that like that is quite fun, have to admit. Okay, we might have reached the end of the game. Nice. Very nice game. So perhaps that can serve as a little bit of a lesson how you can turn a rolling Unity cube into a fun game. Actually, that was pretty well done, pretty well executed. Seeing all these different landscapes kept it interesting for me, combined with the challenge of dodging these blocks. Yeah, but the level design definitely always had a big impact on how much I enjoyed the level. My advice would be improve the design of the emptier levels a little more, put a couple more objects in there, a couple more mountains or whatever, so the world feels a little more complete. Your levels like that feel very, very nice to roll through. That rolling through something like that is extremely fun. Or here, that was a very cool level as well, because those levels felt very unique, memorable. It felt like a real journey. Like here, this quality of level design is what I'm looking for. This is really fun. Yeah, interesting that once again level design can have such a big impact on your game. I didn't thought you could make such a good game with just a rolling cube. There were a lot more games that I really wanted to check out. Unfortunately, there were just way too many games. So when I say sorry, first of all, for the way I pronounce S, and secondly, sorry for the 90% of you whose games I didn't play. I'm feeling really, really humbled and honored to have such an awesome creative community. The amount of really awesome looking games this time was absolutely stunning and overwhelming. I'm starting to feel like the one who should learn from you, which is great. We can learn from one another. Do not forget to check out Will You Snail on Steam. Hit the wishlist button.
I enjoy seeing stuff die.
And then I know you will be wondering, when will we do this again? Seeing this amount of demand, I assume we'll do this pretty much as soon as possible again. There are so many more games we need to play. We'll see how we do this. I'll let you know when we do this again, which will probably be soon. Good luck next time.
You are a snail, and I am a god.